The theme of improving the systems in which evaluations are implemented, I think, is very important to keep the work of CDI grounded in the real world, so to speak. Evaluations, of course, are an important activity, and they affect a lot of people, and they're carried out within an institution. And in the past, evaluations were certainly seen by many people as something to be nervous about. They felt their jobs were going to be on the line, they were going to be criticised, and so naturally there had to be an understanding between the evaluator and the institution about the aims and goals of the evaluation. Nowadays that worry is less, that the people's work and jobs would come under threat, but it's rather swung the other way in that there are now so many evaluations that sometimes institutions slip into a rather tick box mentality in carrying them out. But over that time, over the last 20 years, I think we haven't really come to terms with the way in which evaluations can be better understood within the institution in which they are implemented. There are different stakeholders, there are people with different incentives, wanting to see things operate differently. But a lot of the evaluation system is still working under an old sort of procurement system model. In other words, an institution commissions an evaluation, terms of reference are written out, usually very long terms of reference. Terms of reference are written by committees often, so that everyone has to get their particular thing into that terms of reference. And then, having agreed on that internally, the institution goes out into the world to try and find an evaluator. And they realise that an evaluator has to be independent, probably not directly linked with the institution to give this impression and give this air of independence. But often the evaluator themselves and what they want to do is not well matched up with the terms of reference. So we're rather stuck in an older world when it comes to commissioning evaluations. I think first of all CDI will do some important work just uncovering the obvious, just to bring to the surface some of the things that are done implicitly without people really thinking, bringing some of the implicit judgments and decisions that are made to the surface and shining a light on them and discussing them. Really, the evaluation methods should be taking better cognizance of new trends in development assistance, which requires different methods. But often the institutions that carry out evaluations are quite reluctant to take the risks that are involved in introducing and testing out new methods. There are some examples where things are changing a little, and I think we have seen some organisations that are taking on newer methods and are willing to take both the commissioner of the evaluation and the evaluator is willing to take the risks involved in setting up new methods. So I think first of all we need to broadcast those situations where this is happening, and then through we have an emphasis in CDI on methodology and appropriate methodology. I think we have an advocacy job then to lay out what the risks are, what the resources are, which is my particular favourite topic, the resources you have in terms of budget line and capacity to do something. We have different partners we're working with, different disciplines and so on. So I think if we can provide some good briefings on the methodologies and the problems we faced and how we try to overcome them, I think other people will find that very helpful.